Night Owls podcast. This is Jonathan Myers, and it's 11:28, and I'm here with Ben, Megan, and Chucky.
Hey, what's up?
We got a little bit of a different crew this time.
Guests?
Yeah, I know, right?
Rest in peace to those we have lost. Jacob Bierman.
Can I get an F in the chat for my boys?
Who is this Peter's last name?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Aw, poor
Yeah.
Peter.
So Jacob is in Tampa, being abused by his family. Currently.
What?
Rest
Yeah.
in peace, my good dude.
And
okay.
then Peter is what is he
God
doing?
knows where.
He's working or something.
No, he's leaving for Paris tomorrow, and
Paris, France?
Yeah. No, Paris, Milwaukee. Sorry.
No.
Okay.
yes, Paris, France.
Yeah.
Can I go too?
Et oui, oui, mon ami.
Yeah.
Je m'appelle Lafayette.
No one speaks Spanish, Chucky.
Hey, it's okay. Actually, I speak Zimbabwean, so thank you very much. That was actually like my native tongue.
Oh, okay. Well,
Dope.
okay. That's crazy.
Oh, thanks, V. Like I try my best. Like I'm trying to bring that cultural diversity over here. You know what I'm saying?
Fucking-
Oh, right. So,
Fucking
Yeah.
love languages, though, dude.
it
Anyway.
is. Did I say the time already?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
11:28.
All right. So,
This is now 11:29.
I guess do you guys want to start off with the coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down.
So, we didn't have any coffee today, so me and my dad ran out to ShopRite and picked up something called Zeke's. Here, you know what? I'm gonna go get the little thingy.
Read it.
Yeah, that house
Verbatim.
Like say it from like back over there.
No.
No.
I'm teasing. I'm joking. It was.
No.
I think it's a local
No.
brand,
I'll-
too. If I'm not mistaken. 'Cause
I was trying to be funny, guys. You know.
Zeke's
Alright.
bought a Starbucks by the
Really?
Barnes Noble. Yeah, right there in Bel Air.
Huh.
Yeah, so Zeke's it's brewed in Baltimore, Maryland. So it's a
Wow.
local coffee.
And they had enough money to buy a Starbucks, so
Hell yeah, dude.
Apparently, that's hell yeah for capitalism.
I don't even know what that means.
But the one that I got, the flavor or whatever, is called Royal Blue. And the little description here says, Indonesia, South and Central America, bold and luxurious with a full body and notes of sweet spice and nuts. So that's the description here. Whether it's accurate, I guess, is up to us. The beans, they smell good, and the box, or not the box, it's like a kind of just a plain.
brown
brown
bag.
paper
Yeah,
bag, yeah.
it's nothing really special, but I guess that means they don't have anything to compensate for.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Hell yeah.
So let's clink to it and
I will say definitely
take a
it
sip.
has full body.
all right.
As someone who's full bodied herself.
What?
Is spit take
Pardon?
enough? Did I call it spit take? Is that fine?
Oh my god.
All right.
It's
So
okay.
yeah. So that was definitely our first sip, not our fifth.
10.
Right,
Yeah,
Megan?
We should also mention that we French pressed.
Oh yeah, we did.
We
I
did.
tried my best to French press
Did it
bars.
good?
It did
It's
good.
No, it's
Thank
good.
you.
It's good.
Thank
It's very
you. Yeah. It's
very smooth.
a very long process when you're doing it for 4 people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
True.
I won't lie.
Mhm.
But yeah,
I do too.
I think it was worth it. What do you guys think?
10 out of 10.
It's pretty good. It's very
Out
smooth.
of 5 here, Megan.
10 out of 5. That's out.
Wow,
I
but that's really good.
It
like
is good.
not to blow smoke up your ass, but like it's
Okay.
really like it's 5 out of 5. Like it's pretty good.
What
Like
does
it's
that
very.
mean?
Huh? I mean,
Never
like
mind.
I don't. I mean, I don't want you to be like first time guest over here, and I'm like gassing you up. But I mean, like no, this is like really well done. Like I remember making French presses when I worked at Starbucks and
Much
stuff.
better than the last
And
time.
like this is like
Wait, hold on a minute. Chucky, you know how to make French presses the whole time, and you made me do it? God damn it, Chucky. Come on.
Well, like I mean, I haven't worked at a coffee shop. I mean,
Trainer.
wow, guys. I can already feel like 30 minutes in, like you guys gonna be like, get the fuck out of here.
Get out.
It's fine.
No, just kidding.
First guess we had to kick off the show.
Not the last. So all right. So out of 5 stars, what would you say?
I think it's a 4 out of 5. It's pretty good. It's very smooth base layer. Like it tastes kind of like a blonde roast at Starbucks. So it's pretty good.
Interesting. What did you put in it?
So I put 2 scoops of raw sugar, and then I put like a pint size, not a pint size. I can't think. It's like
2 shots.
2 shots, like 2 shots worth of almond milk.
Yeah.
Thank you. I need
We
that.
only have almond milk right now.
It's all good.
So
I'm a little surprised. It's actually very good with almond milk.
Yeah.
I'm not super fond of almond milk.
Mhm.
I've had almond milk, but it's very sour, and
Yeah.
I threw up. That's not good. But
No, not good at all.
Don't throw
I
it
worked
now.
at a horse farm, and they never really checked the fridge, and I wasn't sure. So I
Yeah.
took a sip, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's not how that's supposed to taste.
So yours is
Mine is very good. I put, I think, 3 scoops of raw sugar and 2 shots of almond milk. I usually like my coffee very sweet, but I usually taste it first black to see if I really like it, and I tasted it black, and it was very good. And it's even better with the cream and sugar.
Nice. All right, so how many out of 5 stars?
10. 10 out of 5.
Okay.
10
Wow.
out of 5.
Well, that's coming
She's
from the
standing by
Walmart
that.
brand that I was here for last
Oh,
time,
okay.
so
All right.
which was like this.
So
but
so far we have 5 and we have 10.
This is the most glowing reviews we've ever gotten.
Yeah, I guess I'll go next. I really like this. Maybe it's the French press, maybe it's the almond milk, but there's something about it that's kind of sweet.
Yeah.
I know on the description, I think didn't it say sweet spice and nuts. When I was at ShopRite, that sounded interesting to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if I necessarily taste any of the nuts. I think I pick up a little bit on the sweetness of it.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of that description is actually just trying to sell the brand.
Yeah.
But I think it's for what it is. I think it's pretty good. I'm gonna say 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I
Ben?
mean, I think it's pretty good. I usually add sugar. I didn't put any sugar in this.
Mhm.
Just some of the almond milk.
Yeah, I put almond milk and a little bit of sugar in mine.
Yeah. I mean, it's still pretty sweet. It's good. I still probably wouldn't rank it over the Pignon.
Yeah.
I think this is the second best we've had on the show, though, in my personal opinion. I'd probably give it like a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. What did I rate the Pignon again?
I have no clue.
Probably like 4 out of 5 or something.
Yeah.
But for the nuttiness, though, like someone who's allergic to peanuts, I have to kind of watch out for those flavors.
Mm-hmm.
And I do taste a little bit of the nutty. I don't know if it's the almond milk or if it's just, or if it is the coffee, but I do taste it, and it's good. It adds body and it adds warmth into the
Yeah.
I kind of
upper
think
palate. The upper
because like when I worked at Starbucks, they like explained it like taste buds of like where certain taste palettes are like, and like back in the back of your tongue, it's like sour and like spices.
That's some in-depth training for Starbucks.
Oh no, they drilled that shit in your head. Like I like minus Chick-fil-A, Starbucks has like the longest training process out of everything because like they show you how to make the drinks. Like there's coffee tastings, and when I remember explaining that shit to my dad was just like, the fuck is like, what the fuck? What? Coffee tastings? That is some white people shit. Oh my
Oh my god.
But like
I love your dad.
Yeah,
when
don't
you
mind
do
me. I'm just getting my
impressions.
PhD in Starbucks.
I'm getting my PhD in Starbucks, but like no, because like I remember before I could not drink coffee. I'm like coffee is like dumb, but now like since I
Saves
used
your life.
no, that shit saves my life. Like especially like making like long drives and stuff back and forth to Towson. Like I always stop by at like Dunkin', get like a black coffee, and then like I'm good. I'm solid.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
peachy keen.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. So, I think now would be a good time to move on to our first topic. Does anybody want to volunteer to go first? Otherwise, I can
I'll go
go
first.
Okay.
I'll go
all right.
first. So this week I want to talk about some censorship, specifically in video games, but broaden that. So a little while ago, PlayStation announced that their like PlayStation Network and all was going to undergo some changes, and they're going to crack down a little more on like sexually explicit stuff. More specifically, it was like sexually explicit stuff about women, just like over the top sort of things. And then after that, Steam sort of came in and they were like, yeah, as long as it's not illegal, you can post it to Steam.
Right.
I don't know. There was an incident that I heard about that I was like, but Steam did get rid of it.
Yeah.
I think so. It was a game that was being developed called Rape Day.
Oh no.
It's illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that
What the
too.
fuck?
Yeah.
That was rough.
And then the most shocking thing is Nintendo, like super recently, it was like a few days ago, came out and said that on the eShop, they're really going to allow just about anything, and it's a parent's job and the rating system's job.
I agree with that.
I love that. And that, you know what, that surprises me the most. Because
Yeah.
I would have thought, because Nintendo is super protective
Yeah.
of their brand and of being
Yeah.
family friendly, and the fact that they're allowing like anything, and you know, I guess that they're comfortable with saying that because you know, you're not going to go to the eShop and, or at least I can't imagine going to the eShop and finding like anime titties and shit, you know.
You can, dude. Like,
Can you? Are there anime titties on the eShop right now?
I mean, this is all information I'm getting from Inside Gaming Daily on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
Haven't checked them out. Highly recommend them. They're
Oh,
fucking
they're
hilarious.
fantastic.
They're the same guys who run Funhouse Games.
Oh, okay.
They just do a news channel show about, you know,
Video
current
games.
gaming stuff.
Okay, cool.
I got a lot of news from there, but they were saying, yeah, you can basically get like that sort of thing on the eShop.
Okay,
right
well,
now.
never mind then. But yeah, I like that they're putting that responsibility on the parents.
Yeah.
That's cool. I
No,
like that.
I feel that because I feel like it's going back to the whole entire thing back in comic books with the whole like
Comics Code Authority.
the Comics Code Authority, where they're putting all responsibility on like the publishers and them to decide like what goes in comic books and all that stuff. And honestly, I feel like it kind of just hindrances like the whole entire development process. And I just feel like it's really up to the parents' choices, because literally to stop like your 7-year-old child from playing Doom, you can literally just like, number one, have a conversation with your child and say like, hey, you can't go on this. Like my 8-year-old brother, I caught him, he was about to watch Stranger Things, and I said like, you can't watch it. And he's like, why? And I said like, you're not old enough to watch it. And I put like the reasonable restraints from him from watching like Stranger Things, 13 Reasons Why, and him being
no one should be watching that.
no, but like just like for him to just watch shows like being on Netflix Kids, and especially like since he goes on YouTube a lot, I always like have conversations with him saying that, hey, you know, if you're watching like a streamer and he says like a curse word, you know, like dad's not gonna like it when you watch that stuff. And he's like, yeah, okay. I mean, like later I'll say like, hey, you know, you can watch whatever you want to watch, but I think like just having that like conversation,
Right.
and like not like slowly focusing on like the creators and stuff, I think, you know, just gives breathing room and
Right.
stuff. And also there's a rating system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think back to the Nintendo thing, like there are parental controls.
Exactly.
Like if you're not, like I remember when I was younger, before
They're
I was like
strict.
I was like when I had my original 3DS, like before I was
Yeah.
18, like there were certain games that I couldn't play.
Yeah,
or
it's
couldn't download
hard
from
to
the
get
eShop.
around that sort of stuff on Nintendo's products.
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing if they're gonna go by those censorship rules. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But also I agree. Like it starts with a conversation, and that's something that you need to have with your kids and the people that you're looking after. In my opinion, because you know at the end of the day, without parental controls and stuff, if there's nothing like that in place. Like, you can have a conversation, but that isn't necessarily going to stop them.
Yeah.
True.
But I also don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, you know? Because they're going to learn about that kind of stuff one way or another.
So
I think, though, like, it's important, like, particularly for certain streaming services, to have more strict parental controls. Because my little sister, she has special needs. We're trying not to... You know, she imitates whatever she sees.
Right,
so
right.
we try not to, like, show her purposefully certain things. Because she will try to imitate that. And she will imitate that with whoever is in the room. And that's not a good thing, especially when it's family. So we try to keep that kind of thing from her. And, you know, she spends a lot of time on her tablet, and she'll just click through stuff. Like, it doesn't... She just scrolls and clicks and taps and... But she'll find her way to... Like, there was a show on Amazon called Apocalypse something. It's about the end of the world, and everybody's, like, you know, doing BDSM, and...
Naturally.
There's neon, and...
what else do you do on the world?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's
That's what I do.
solely focused on, like, sexuality and stuff like that. And
Okay.
there's very graphic stuff. And I caught her watching it one day. I was like, oh. but she was on a kid's tablet, which was supposedly had, parental controls of, oh, you can't watch this. But she, in fact, was watching it on an Amazon tablet. And I was like, how do I fix this? What do I do? And I went through, and it was just, the parental controls are on. She just found her way around them by pure chance.
And that happens a lot, like kids' YouTube, look at that sort of thing. You can, there are plenty of...
YouTube is bizarre.
There's plenty of, fucked up stuff on kids' YouTube, dude. They're getting in all that trouble because of that. A lot of people are pulling their ads because there was a whole controversy of, this really weird channel where they dress up as, Elsa and Spider-Man.
Yeah, there are, multiple. Yeah.
And it was just, they do,
yeah, they very,
shit.
Sexually explicit.
No.
Yeah.
It's so... It's just... It's weird.
Yeah.
Why
so
would you
weird.
do that?
But, it was a huge channel, kids were eating that shit up. What?
Yeah.
But the one thing I did want to bring up is that Sony isn't doing this as much for protecting children. It was more in a response to the Me Too movement. They wanted to sort of eliminate stuff that's objectifying women, stuff that was super sexually explicit in a way that
Shouldn't be.
yeah, it's
It's
just
not
going,
necessary.
yeah, going a little
Too
too
far.
far.
Yeah, I'm really pro, or I'm really, for the most part, I find myself being really anti-censorship.
Yeah.
But when it comes to video games, things like censoring swastikas and stuff, in Call of Duty, I'm pretty against that because it's Call of Duty, it's it's historical.
Yeah. No, I get that.
But on the same token, with video game censorship, censoring overly sexual women in fantasy,
you can see their nipples through their
medieval,
armor.
right? And they got bikini chainmail shit on. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That shit has always bothered me because it seems way too over the top.
And
it's not subtle at all.
I think
the
it's
dude
also
has a
cultural.
gorgeous breastplate and pauldrons.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
He's
saying.
in full armor
Yeah.
and she's got a bikini on. You're
Exactly.
I think there's some cultural divide on that, though. I don't want to sound I don't know.
Sound like it. It's fine. Express yourself.
I feel like
Right.
Japan, that sort of thing is not as bad. You watch anime, you watch, any games coming out of Japan, and you see that. I feel a little bit more than you do here. And is that just a cultural divide sort of thing?
I'm sure it is a cultural.
I think it is a cultural divide because
I just had a question. You mean you see more the chainmail bikinis and Japanese stuff, or less?
Yeah,
of that?
and Japanese stuff and
Yeah.
anime, that sort
Spearman
of
would
thing.
know
It is
all
a-
about that.
Where's
There
the
is a-
expert when we need
God
him?
damn it.
There is a lot of fetishization
Yeah.
in Japan of that kind of thing.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
a
yeah.
fetishization of women's bodies in particular.
Thank
that,
you for putting it into good words.
That I think because this is going to sound really weird and a really odd generalization. Typically, and that's not even a real statement typically, but the culture itself, I feel, is very sexually repressed, and so it comes
incredibly.
out in this weird kind of fetishization of
Yeah.
whatever, because there's a lot to them they're not physically affectionate unless they're sexually active with someone. They don't give hugs. They're not a handshake is all you get, or you get the bow. They're not. They associate touch with sex, and that's very repressive. And so that sexual frustration comes out in these weird bursts of fetishization.
So then is it okay for Sony to be we're eliminating that from our...
Well, Chucky, what do you want to say? I feel like you're holding
You're
something back. Yeah.
Oh, well, because it's crazy to think about because in Japan, there's literally signs in Japan for people to say hey, please start dating and please start having sex because for one thing, unlike in westernized culture, it's more encouraged for men to talk to women, or sexuality is more open in the West. In the East, sexuality is incredibly super fucking repressed. For instance, men, oh my gosh, they do if you tell a guy hey, like go talk to a woman or do all that stuff. It's like no, I'm good. I'm totally fine. I'm totally fine with like my 9 to 5 job. And realizing and putting like the dots together, like it makes so much sense. Like why there's so much like hentai in Japan. Sexual, like
well, I mean, I think
we're not
we
experts.
all have to.
I don't want to get
Right. I think we have to all
cultural.
take everything that we're saying with a grain of salt.
True.
We're
Yeah,
looking
true.
at this from an outside perspective in.
True.
Yeah.
I can't really speak for anyone in Japan because I'm not really part of the culture.
No,
Yeah,
and
I'm
neither
not.
am I.
But,
Yeah,
but also a lot of the things that you do see come out of there, like that one Fire Emblem game. Who was that one chick?
Fire Emblem?
Yeah, there was a Fire Emblem game where
Fire Emblem.
this one, it was like super fan servicey. Like there was this one character who was like her breasts were like massive and like you could see the cleavage and like they were part of like one of the game mechanics was like petting the characters like dolls.
Yeah,
and it's like, to me that's fucking weird, and I think
really
that I think that's part of the cultural divide.
Yeah.
But I mean, is it okay for Sony to be like, we're censoring this stuff through a like Western point of view?
Are they censoring it in Japan too, or is it just here?
It sounded like PlayStation Network is like a whole, from my
Okay,
understanding.
well, I mean, I personally don't have a problem with it.
What exactly are they censoring? Are they just censoring women's bodies, or are they censoring
like that type of game isn't any game with like
over the
that's
top
based around
sexualization?
that over the top sexualization isn't really.
I can like in wake of the Me Too movement, I can see why they would do that.
Yeah.
I can see why, and I can see why they would want to say, "Hey, women are people. Let them be people."
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's a lot of stuff that we watch, that we consume as, viewers and as gamers and as, streamers and stuff that it isn't necessary. And it isn't, there's no reason to consume it. I don't think that just because it isn't necessary, it shouldn't be consumed.
Yeah, well, I think there's a bit of a culture in America where we have sort of grown to a point where, like, this grotesque violence and stuff doesn't affect us nearly as much anymore. I think it's something we're really used to seeing, Call of Duty, everything. And I'm sure there are cultures across the world that's just not cool.
Yeah, they see
Like,
that and they're like, what the fuck?
If PlayStation was based out of there and decided to censor games like that, would that be okay?
Yeah, that's true. I
think it's a big double-edged sword because I know like for example in Japan it's kind of like, I mean, it's not really a big deal and stuff, and especially in other cultures like sexuality is not really that big deal, but like I think in America sexuality is very a part of our culture that I feel like it's kind of like, yeah, that's too much. Like for instance, like the whole Batman Damned thing with like Bruce's Bruce's like dick hanging out. Like there was a whole like controversy about that.
But would that like say it was Batwoman whose titties were out and she was naked? Would that be? Would there be as big a controversy if it was her?
That'll probably be a bigger controversy.
I think that would be a bigger controversy because I remember there was a superhero Power Girl, and I remember the first time her inception was that like people had problems with her costume, and like people like I remember there was petitions on petitions on petitions of people saying like DC like change your fucking costume now.
People who don't know Power Girl's costume, where you normally see like a symbol on her chest, it's cut out and it's just cleavage.
That is weird.
I mean, that gives.
I mean, why was Batman's dick out? Like I saw the panel where he was like in the Batcave or whatever, just walking around naked. He just like chilling?
He just like taking off his costume.
I mean,
he doesn't have anything under.
What do you wear under that? I guess.
Underwear?
I mean, I read the comic. I
don't know.
I didn't see it as like problematic.
Yeah.
I didn't. It was just a thing that was there. And actually, I follow the artist for that comic.
And it was just like it was just like a little light highlight on it, right?
Yeah, it was barely
you see like
much.
only like the shaft.
But funny story, that's actually the most expensive comic I own because I have one that wasn't censored, and that thing's going for like $300.
Right, you gonna sell it or you gonna keep it?
I think I'm gonna keep it.
Keep it for as long as you can, and if it's $1,000, that's when you sell it.
But you know, the artist comes from a culture where that's okay. You know, over in a European culture, that's common. His art frequently has that in there.
Oh yeah, there are plenty of places that are. Almost all places, I think, there's beaches in France that are just you go without clothes or you don't. Nobody cares.
Yeah, and that's very different from our culture.
Yeah.
So I think if Batman's dick was out for just the sake of Batman's dick being out, if it was just there for the sexuality aspect, that's something that I would have a problem with.
If it was an erect
but I think
penis,
right, and he was like. I don't know,
Jagging up.
Right? Like that would be like, okay, hold on a second.
Oh,
why is
we gotta
this?
Stop there.
This isn't the Batman comic that I wanted to read today.
So,
but if it's just sexuality for the sake of sexuality and like something to get off to, like that's something in like a mainstream comic. Like I feel like that's something that I would have a problem with because it's just it's a marketing thing, right?
I do want to also add that this was under DC's black label that you have to be 18 to purchase.
Okay.
They're very careful about that.
But I think that, I mean, a dick is, whether you like it or not, it's part of the human body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Titties, whether you like it or not, whether you have a problem with Power Girl or not, it's part of the human body.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're pretty, and sometimes it's not so pretty.
And you know what?
It's
all in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
True.
So I think censorship sucks a lot, unless it's like censoring something like okay, this is just sex to be sex.
And I think it's kind of the same thing with violence. Like if it's just violence to be violence, I think there's.
You see, that's the weird thing though, because like I feel like I kind of disagree. I feel like I'm not really, and maybe like this is what you were saying, like we're really desensitized to violence, but like I feel like I would have more of a problem with censoring violence than censoring sexuality.
I have a question.
Okay.
Has anyone here in this room seen the Zapruder film?
No, I don't know what that is.
What is that?
So the Zapruder film, you've seen it. You've probably seen pieces of it on the History Channel. But the Zapruder film is
the Zapruder film.
Aliens.
No.
Aliens.
Yes. The Zapruder film is film of JFK's death.
Oh, okay.
It's of him getting shot in his head, and the head just exploded.
Oh God.
Yeah, and it's uncensored. It's all there, and you just see Jackie O just go and grab whatever is there.
Jesus Christ.
It's horrible. It's violent. I've personally not seen it, but I've heard people describe it to me.
Yeah, I would never want to watch it. That is something that I would be alright.
That is something that should be censored.
Yeah.
I've seen videos of people dying.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, so real shit, like real violence, I feel like should be censored.
Yes.
Yeah, like I think
fictional violence.
I think fictional violence is okay,
It's
but like
different.
It
is different.
I think one thing with violence is like I'm not a fan of violence for the sake of violence. If it's like a Tarantino movie where like every kill like means something and stuff, but like with there was this movie I remember I watched because I don't know why I was like I was a stupid 14-year-old, and it was August Underground Mortem, and it was just like a bunch of serial killers just
hacking at it.
Just hacking at it, and I just remember like there was no storyline, and like I couldn't tell whether or not it was a snuff film or not, but just that I think just having violence for the sake of the violence and it does not move the story, I think it's just kind of like a big fuck you to like audience members, because I'm just kind of like, all right, what the point is? What is the point of this? Like movies like John Wick, the MCU movies where like you see on screen death, and it propels the story forward. Then like I'm all at it, but like just like that where it's like, hey, let's just have a guy's like head explode in the most violent and grotesque way possible. I think it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's just lazy writing.
But like, why is any of that violence more appropriate than sex, which is a natural like thing that
You see, that's the catch
humans have been
22.
doing forever.
Yeah, and humans, I mean, violence is extremely natural. Like, you look at nature and you see stags fighting to the death over a doe. You see, tigers.
But, like, haven't we evolved above that at this point? We don't...
Could you argue that? I mean, we have wars,
I think... We have wars because humans are petty, not because we need it to survive.
Well, no, but I feel like...
Well, maybe now, but...
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, in like a culture now, why is war and violence more acceptable than
humans
sex?
hunt. Well, I mean, humans hunt and eat, and we kill animals for food.
Well, I think
it's still technically violence to survive.
Yeah,
but I think there comes a point, I think, in both cases where I think enough is enough. Like, you can watch fictional violence and kind of think, it's not real. I know it's not real, and it's fine. Mm-hmm. You can watch fictional sex and say, it's not real. I know it's not real, and it's fine.
Yeah.
And I think, but I don't know where the line is for,
I think I want to clarify a little bit. Like, sex and mainstream things, I think it's fine. Like PG-13 sex, in movies, like in Transformers, like that shit is full of that stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, I don't really have a problem with that necessarily. Like, as long as it's tastefully done, like, I really don't have a problem. There's a movie called Deus Ex. Called Ex Machina.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Great movie.
With Oscar
Isaac and one of the Weasley twins.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But there are lots of breasts in that movie. But it's, like, super tastefully done. I think there's a time and place for, like, full-on, like, hardcore, like, you're really going at it. Like, if you want to find that stuff, you can find that stuff. But I think if you were to put that stuff in, like, a movie or a comic, I think that would be a little bit over the top. And I would be okay with that specifically being censored. But sex in general, as long as it's, like, tastefully done, I
agree with you, because I'm actually currently watching a show called Masters of Sex, which is, it takes place in the 1950s, and it's based on a true story. Mm-hmm. It's about these two people, Dr. William Masters and Virginia Johnson, who partake in a scientific experiment trying to define and explain the physiology and psychology of sex. And they just sit in a room and they watch people have sex all day long. And this is a show where it's very gratuitous, but yet tastefully done sex scenes. And every episode has a sex scene. Whether it's good sex, bad sex, sex with a purpose, sex with no purpose. There's always a sex scene in the show, and it really pushes the boundaries even further than Game of Thrones ever did in its beginning seasons. Right. And I agree with you on that. It's very tastefully done, even throughout the whole thing. Every episode, I'm on the last episode of the first season, and it's very tastefully done. But I agree with you. As long as it's tastefully done, I feel like it's fine. And there's a reason.
And even if it's not tastefully done, like, I don't necessarily think it should be censored, but you wouldn't want to find that in a mainstream movie. You would go on, like, Pornhub to find that shit. Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
like actual porn.
Right.
Yes.
Because, like, it's funny how, like people complain about, like, oh, like, the sex scene was too gratuitous in movies, while we literally have Pornhub, which is one of, like, the high, like everyone goes on Pornhub, like, on a daily basis and stuff. So it baffles me.
Not me.
Yeah, not me.
Good Christian boy right here.
Exactly.
Every other day, I will admit.
But no,
that's as far as.
But I think, like, but I think, like,
fix it in post.
But I think one thing.
Are you trying to censor her?
No, I'm sorry.
Censor her? Gosh.
Don't fucking censor me, Jonathan.
No, but, like, I think one thing, especially, like, thinking about it, is that as long as, like, it propels the story forward and stuff, and, like, it makes sense in the context of it makes sense.
That's what I was saying.
It's fine. Keep it in.
If it makes sense.
Keep going. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's fine. It's my life. If it makes sense in the context of the story, then, like, I'm totally okay with it.
Yeah.
Like the experimentation, the physiology and psychology of sex.
Yeah,
like
that and just that. Also, like, if it's just out of place, where, like,
it's
never
just inserted in there, it's weird.
it's just never mentioned in, like, the whole entire like episode, movie, or just, like, scene, then like that's fucking weird.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So what it boils down to is context and culture matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
All right. So do you guys mind if we move on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna go next.
Okay.
Sorry if I stole anyone's spotlight.
No.
Thank you, brother.
So I was looking for topics today because I was originally going to talk about something, but then I was like, I don't really want to talk about that. So, oh crap!
Bless
Oh
you.
no, what'd you do?
I lost the article.
God damn it.
Hold on, let me find it.
Is there any way I can get more coffee? Or do I have to make it myself?
You would? I mean, do you know how to make it?
I can guess really well, I think.
All right. I mean, don't break anything.
I'll try not to.
All right.
In a few minutes, we'll just hear glass shattering.
It's fine.
All right. Let's see.
Crack a cocoon.
But what I was going to talk about is so. Where is it? So there was a kid, like a teenager, who he was like, oh my god, don't laugh at me.
I'm laughing at you.
Oh well. All right, you guys keep talking so I can properly.
Chucky,
find
what do you want to talk about?
What do I want to talk about? Well, golly, my feelings. Oh no, I don't know about that, Chief. I don't know about that. I want to expose myself to the whole entire internet.
I found it. It's fine.
Okay, never mind.
It's fine. All right. Doctors remove 10-inch knife from teenager's brain. So, I was surfing the internet looking for a topic, and I was going to talk about something a little more political, but I was like, you know what? I feel like I've had a lot of that on this podcast, so I want to talk about something a little bit different. So I found an article from the Huffington Post that says there was a kid, teenager,
Really?
yeah,
And a 10-inch knife?
yeah, and it was stuck in his face,
Wow!
but the doctors removed it.
How did it get there?
All right, let's see. So
What?
he was like messing around outside.
And he fell and like the knife.
Yeah, so he was like playing with his friends, and like he was holding a knife. And
Why was he...
Listen, sometimes you just
I'm
fuck with
explaining,
the
all right.
knife. Listen, sometimes you just fuck with
Wait,
the
hold on.
knife.
So you're saying you've never been outside messing around with your friends, like chasing around with a knife, and then
Yeah, man.
My
Did you
dad-
have a childhood?
My
Come
dad
on,
used
dude.
to chase his friends with tennis balls covered in dog shit.
Ew.
That's disgusting.
No, I'm
Wait,
sorry.
are you
My father
grind-
didn't do that.
Are you grinding stuff?
Do I have to?
There's already that grinder there already has stuff in it. You could probably use it.
Okay.
All right.
Like, he's just chasing his friends around with a knife?
I actually don't know that part, but so it says here, Eli Gregg was playing Saturday with other kids when his mother, Jimmy Russell, heard him scream loudly outside of his home in Bourbon County. Basically, he comes inside, he's got a knife in his face.
Mom, look what happened.
Mom, check it out! Isn't that cool? What if he was like super excited about it? All right, no, this is fucked up. I shouldn't be joking about that. Oh, he's a little kid. All right,
I mean, why was he playing with a knife?
I don't know.
Who let him have this?
So it says apparently Eli was handling the knife when he fell and it went through his face,
Oh, what part of
becoming
his face?
embedded in his skull. The tip stopped
man.
right at his carotid artery. Thank you, carotid artery.
Oh,
So
whew.
he
Man, if that would have cut that, he would be dead.
yeah. So
Are you serious?
so he went to the
You could die in seconds if you make that.
Yeah, right.
so he got rushed to the hospital through an ambulance, and
I want to see the X-ray.
a quote. Yeah, this is the X-ray right here.
Look at that, dude. That is all up in his face.
Damn,
It's
dog.
so close to his brain.
Yeah,
Whoa.
so a quote from a doctor
This is just-
here says it could not have had a pound more force on it and him survive that event. So if it just had a little
Right,
bit
that
more
is just
pressure,
like the
Oh,
most luck in the
no.
world. The
Yeah.
placement and the pressure. Jesus.
So-
No. Imagine being that mother.
I mean, that's a hell of a story.
yeah. So he'll probably have a pretty cool scar
Yeah.
and be like, hey guys, he'll be at the bar.
You want to know how I got this scar?
You want to know how I got this
scars. That's like, is he like in high school and stuff?
No, he's like, look at him. He's like a little kid.
Probably like 10.
He looks around like 13ish.
Damn.
So yeah, this is so fucked up.
Hey, remember this whole conversation about how grotesque violence is like cool in America? Here we are laughing at a kid who got stabbed in the face.
So the quote from the article says,
This comes.
so the procedure was successful, by the way. He's all right, and he's on the road to healing.
I hope it was successful.
Yeah.
No, he fucking died, dude.
So a quote from the article says, Eli seems to have learned from the experience. His mom told Inside Edition that he's going to stay away from sharp objects.
Oh, I bet, dude. Jeez,
And then,
That's fucking wild.
and then she said he's got some healing to do, but he's out of danger for the most part. She added.
For the most part.
Whew.
Yeah. So
Like, what was he doing? Like, Jesus.
He fell on it.
yeah,
So,
he's
like-
like he tripped or something. So like joking aside, like this is really fucked up, and
But I mean,
it's crazy. It's crazy that
wild.
he survived.
That's
Like
wild.
the knife was just a hair away from.
yeah, I mean, it's
It
luck.
being fatal.
It's a testament to how far medicine and doctors have come.
Definitely.
But like, whew.
Bro, he has a killer college story to tell. Like, yo, guys, like,
He'll be in the bar. He'll be like, hey ladies,
yo, he's like,
look, check us out.
Check
I got a
this guy
knife, 10-inch knife stuck in my face when I was a kid.
Just like lie about it and be like,
Yeah, you know, I was fighting this guy. I was trying to attack my mom.
Yeah,
I
bro.
was like a 13-year-old kid.
we were getting mugged. And
Yeah.
I couldn't let that happen.
Like,
So I used my face as a shield.
like, bros, we're like, walking down the street, man, and like,
Nosy, but where's the sugar?
The sugar, it's behind the Keurig.
Oh,
So goddamn needy.
Come on.
sorry. I'm new in this house.
So, yeah, have you guys, what's the biggest, I mean, I'm sure you guys can't really one-up this, but what's the biggest, like, injuries you guys have gotten?
oh god, I got this down pat. I got this. Oh shit.
Oh, let me tell mine first,
Go,
because
go.
mine's not a big deal. I
Okay.
think the worst I've ever been fucked up.
I had one.
I was like real
I'm
little,
sure you have one.
and it was like late. I was trying to wrestle my little like Shih Tzu that we had at the time. I was
Yeah.
probably like definitely not older than 5, and thought I could do some like WWE moves to this Shih Tzu.
Oh, no.
Little shit bit me like right above the eye, and I've got a scar right
Damn.
under my eyebrow.
Damn.
Oh, wow.
I needed stitches and whatnot. I think that's the worst.
You know, I got bitten by a dog once.
Alright, we're not gonna talk about that.
Okay.
Oh no,
Sorry.
I'll tell you mine. So this happened my first semester at Towson, and Jesus, I'm so mad at myself to this day because like it's a new school. I want to make a strong impression, and I'm like killing the game. Like I got cast in Rocky, I got cast in my show for next year, Electric Baby, and I'm like, man, I'm doing good. And it's the day after I get cast into my show, and I'm like, yo, I'm killing this shit at school. So, I go to the gym. I go like
You were slurping.
yeah, no, but like I go to the gym and I'm at the squat rack and doing squats, all that stuff. Like I have single ladies playing on my phone, right? And I'm enjoying myself.
Wait, you were working out to Beyonce?
You bet your ass I'm working to Beyonce. No, but like I'm
Alright.
squatting, and then this guy, I don't know what this guy was doing. I
Sorry.
think he was No, you're fine. I don't know what
The
this guy.
episode where we censor everything.
No, I was squat, and then like I'm at the squat rack and I'm changing the racks, and like I don't know what this guy was doing, but I think it was like trying to scream out my name, but like I have my music blasted in my ears, and he's like, "Hey," and then he pushes me to get my attention, and I dropped a 45-pound weight on my foot.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember your foot looked
Oh, it
bad,
dude, it was fucked. And like I remember, and here's the thing, like because like I was the world's biggest dumbass on the planet, I didn't have my medical insurance card with me, and I couldn't go to patient first.
Everything.
So
We're good.
We're good. We're good.
Cool.
Don't spill it.
So I had to MacGyver my shit. So I had to go to CVS with a swollen foot. Got like a compression sock.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
My
Oh my
dude.
gosh, dude. And like I was in so much pain. And then the next day,
Terrible.
I remember. Because here's the thing, I did not tell my parents about this. So the next
Chucky,
day,
your foot was like 2 times as big as it should have been.
So
How
here-
did you hide that?
so
Your feet are already 2 times as big as they
Dude,
should
I got,
be.
dude,
So
I
I
got,
can't imagine.
Dude, I got like dragon feet. Like, so my feet were, my foot was as big as like 2 of my fists just in my foot, and it was like a cinder block. And I just remember, like the next morning, my dad's just like, "Hey son, I'm going to what? Son, what the hell is that with your foot?" And I'm like, "Dad, I made a big mistake." And he's like, "Oh, hell no. Get the hell up." I couldn't get up. This man, my dad's 52 years old. This man had to, like, pick me up and take me to patient first. I mean, we got in the car. I mean, we didn't walk all the way to patient first. But we drove to patient first. And luckily, nothing was broken. But for a solid month, I had to wear a boot, and I couldn't work out.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
I remember I saw you once with that boot. I was like, what happened to him? And I don't think I ever heard.
Oh no, it was.
Well, now you know.
Now
Now you know. That's the story, folks. But like, it was the most painful experience ever, and it was also during the time I was doing Rocky. But the best part about being in Rocky Horror Picture Show was I was the narrator, and I didn't have to do anything at all. I
love Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, it's such a good fucking show. Being the narrator is one of my favorite parts. I literally just sat there, said my lines, and that's it.
Alright, theater nerds, we're here to hear about how you got fucked up.
It's okay.
I got
Make
2.
it snappy. 'Cause
I got 2. I got
Okay.
one where I've acquired. It was an incident where I acquired the most injuries, and then one where it was
The worst.
most painful.
okay.
So the most painful one was I was taking down the set for Flea in Her Ear. I think it was.
I remember this.
No, not Flea in Her Ear. Arsenic and Old Lace, and I put a drill in my knee.
Not as good.
You put a drill in your knee?
I put a drill in my knee. I was pulling out screws, and my hand slipped, and I had my knee right there, and it slipped right into my knee.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
I couldn't walk on it for like
I'm gonna need to put
a
a
week.
fucking trigger warning on this episode.
That was bad. That was pretty bad. The one where I acquired the most
Welcome to Theater
injuries.
Tech.
The one where I acquired the most injuries was I used to work at a horse farm,
I remember this.
and
You
there was a
remember
big
everything, don't
Clydesdale.
Hey man, I got that 12
You
level
didn't know me
intellect.
then. You didn't know me.
You
then.
told me the story.
I did tell you the story though, but there was a big Clydesdale that I used to take care of there, and the average weight of a Clydesdale is like 2,000 pounds. That motherfucker stepped on my foot.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, and his feet are about the size of a dinner plate. Like his feet were giant, and so he stepped on my foot. And my body kept going because I didn't realize the momentum had stopped, and that like the initial shock of pain didn't hit.
No.
And I pulled a muscle in. I pulled my quad muscle, my
Yeah, boo.
calf muscle, and my ass muscle. And then I
Damn.
fell, and I fell face first into concrete and ice
Jesus Christ.
because it was in the dead middle of winter.
Yeah.
And the horse, my foot, I fall, and my foot's still on the ground because it's under this 2,000-pound animal, and he's standing on it. He's just standing on my foot.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to stand back up, and I'm screaming, and I'm crying, and I'm beating the shit out of this horse, and
Yeah.
he's just looking at me like, what happened? What did you do?
Dude.
I didn't do anything. Stop hurting me. I'm just walking here.
God, that's
Oh, God,
terrible.
that's
Did it
awful.
eventually move off?
He did eventually stand up.
No, she lost her foot.
I lost my
Oh
foot
wow.
that day.
No, legend has it the horse is still on your foot.
Legend has it. I died.
It's actually right here, right now.
Yeah. Good boy.
Wait,
No, but he did. He did. But my foot turned black. I didn't break anything, thank God, because I had
Wow.
6 pairs of socks on because dead in the middle of winter, and I had my hard plastic boots on. So I
Wow.
didn't break anything, thank God. But my foot turned black.
That's jeez.
And of course, everybody who works at a horse farm tells you, oh, well, someone I know lost their toes getting stepped on by a horse. And I'm like, it's not
Doesn't
really
make you feel any better.
Doesn't make you feel any better.
Still not a 10-inch knife in your face though.
Still not a punishment.
So yeah,
But I got a drill in my knee, and I got stepped on by a 2,000-pound animal.
I just dropped a
Good
45-pound weight on my foot, so I mean,
For me, I guess I haven't really had much injuries in my life, but I've had a few. The one that I'm willing to share, though, the one that's not incriminating for myself, is I was in Boy Scout camp, and we every year we would do a summer camp where we would go to a different place. If you can make it, then go ahead, make your coffee, buddy. But we were doing a whittling workshop.
Yeah.
Which is wood carving stuff.
Yeah.
And so something they tell you in Boy Scouts
I can tell this was
a dull knife is more dangerous than a sharp knife.
God.
Oh, no.
And so we were doing this one thing where we were actually, I don't even remember what it was, but we were whittling something, and of course my knife slipped and it cut horizontally on my thumb.
Oh man!
But it wasn't. No, here's the thing. It wasn't bad. It cut horizontally on my thumb, but it hurt. But I was over it. I didn't need stitches. It just left a little mark. Mm-hmm. Now the next day, I went back to that workshop, and we were doing more whittling.
You didn't do it again, did you?
And we were supposed to be whittling our names. And my name is long,
Sure.
8 letters long, has lots of curvy lines.
Sure.
So I'm trying to do a fucking O or something. And my knife slips and it cuts my pinky horizontally. But this time it hurts way fucking more. And I had to leave Boy Scout camp, and I had to get stitches for that fucker. And that, oh my god.
If it makes you feel any
so
better,
bad.
my mom used to work at a deli when she first retired from the police department. She used to work at a deli, and she cut the tip of her finger off in the slicer.
Oh my god, that's 10 times worse. I was a fucking pussy. If that happened, I'd be like, Jesus Christ. That's way terrible. That doesn't compensate at all.
She cut the very top of her pinky finger off. Through the slicer, went through. And she saw it laying on the ground. She was like, oh no, I guess I gotta go, guys.
Wow, your mom's a badass.
About a year ago, I was at work, and our stock room is very vertical.
Yes.
It's very high
It
up.
is. Can attest. I hate it.
So I was at the very top of our tallest ladder, up at the top of the stock room.
You're telling me my worst fear?
Yeah. I was trying to get some instrument from the very top shelf. And thank God that the shelf behind it, because it's very narrow in there, was empty, because my weight shifted, and I fell off that fucking ladder. But I landed on the shelf on the other side of the stock, because it's so tight in there, and I smacked down. My back was fucked.
Yeah?
One of the teachers came in. She used to work there, so she knows all about it. And she was like, "What fell?" And I was like, Me,
I did it.
As I'm sitting on the shelf. It was me.
Oh my god.
This is my shirt. I was awfully loud for your shirt. I was in it.
God.
Yeah, no, dude, my back was not good for...
Oh my god, what were you getting?
something up from I don't even
I don't
remember.
like
I just
that
lost
story.
my
I don't
balance and...
I don't know.
I'm
That's my
terrified of
worst
ladders.
fear.
Yeah.
I
So
still,
am I.
I'll still get
I'm
right
te-
up
oh.
on them.
No, I'm gigantic, and I'm terrified of ladders.
Really? I'm not scared of ladders. I
hate ladders.
I hate heights, just in general.
Heights don't bother me. It's because I will go up in a tall building or whatever. It's getting there.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting there. That's the worst part.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So,
we
so in summary, none of our injuries compared to a 10-inch knife in
That's
the face.
true. I did get dragged by a miniature pony too, but I was not injured for that.
Sweet.
How long have we been recording for?
We've been recording for a while.
Do we gotta cut it?
We might have to.
Well, what we could do is like do a two-parter.
We could do a two-parter.
We could upload part 1 and then part 2.
Okay.
Okay, I'm done.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so
Yeah, I'm having fun.
all right. Thank you everyone for listening. We're gonna be back with part 2 next week, and it's gonna be
This
great.
is totally the first take.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, this is totally
First take
yeah,
on the
first
outro.
try.
Exactly.
We're professionals.
We're totally professionals.
Totally very professional.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah. Thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Have a good
great night.
Love
Stay
you, Dad.
safe. Love you,
Good night.
Dad. Don't pick your nose. Don't talk to strangers.
Don't get stabbed in the face with a 10-inch
Yeah,
knife.
Don't
watch
do
out for
that.
those 10-inch knives. They're
Yeah.
real stabby.
And like when you when you're squatting in the gym, like just make sure like you like don't drop a weight on your foot.
And if you're whittling, don't do what I did and cut your finger.
Don't stand under horses.
Yeah.
And good rule of thumb: if you're on a ladder, don't fall
Yeah.
off.
So
There you go.
yeah. So thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Okay.
Bye.